Yeah. So, hello. How's everybody doing? People that's on. Okay, I sent you the answer key to the blog for radical equations and inequalities. Okay, before we in the next lesson we're gonna do is going to be graphing radical functions. But before we do that, does anyone have any questions about the homework I gave you? And check the answer key. If you have any questions, we can go over that. Okay. Just tell me what problems that you need me to go over from the homework I gave you over the weekend. And good morning. I guess we're the only one on here. Did you check your answers? Did you look on the blog? Yes, no. Who's that? Nicole. I can send it to you today. If you weren't there Friday, I'll send it to you. I upload that after this afternoon because I have to teach my AP Stat class. I'll be done with that at 1:30. So I'll send you the entire packet. Question 12? Okay, cool. All right. Any other questions? Yeah, I know it is. I know this is Selena's mom. 20? All right. Good morning, Jamar. Okay, so it's just 12 and 20. Any other ones? Yeah. Okay. All right, Charles, good morning. Good morning. Oh, number one. Number one. Are you serious? But that's okay. I got you. Seven. All right. So while y'all figuring out which ones, well, I guess you have a minute to look at it. I give you about another minute or two. Then we'll start working these problems here. I know I said from 10 to 11:30, but we finish up earlier. That's fine. Then if you want to come back and look at it, I think I said it where you can go back and watch it. Good morning, silly. Giselle, I know you have questions. So which ones you want? We got 12, 21, and 7. What number do you have? 22? Oh, okay. Gotcha. Eight. Oh, so sister number one. Good morning. Yes, yes. The problems I went over Friday. Come on, Miss Johnson. Yes. The packet number lesson 19. Mm-hmm. But if you haven't done them, that's fine. I know you can catch on. Okay. 16. Okay, I think that's a good starting point. So we need to go ahead and get started. All right, and then if there's some more problems on this list, not all of them, but we can go with those. Because I know some people have questions about 18 through 21. Should anyway. All right, so let's look at number one. Number one is pretty easy. Okay, so let me put it up here. Or can you see that? Well, I can make it bigger because my wife said it needs to be bigger. Okay, can y'all see that? Does it make sense? I need a yes or no or maybe. Okay, cool. All right. So I'm gonna go on to the next one, okay? Probably do need to erase it for that one. Oh, that didn't work. I tried it. Okay, so now we need to do 8. Okay, so now we're going to attempt 8, okay? So 8 is going to be all right. So what we have to do here, we got to get rid of the radical. So we know that this is to the second power, right? So we'll multiply both sides, raise both sides to the second power. So that's going to get rid of this radical. So we have x plus 20 is equal to x squared. So we all know that we need to keep the highest power positive. Okay. So we're going to move this over. All right. So we have what? X, plus 5? No, minus 5. So it'll be plus 4 minus 5. X is equal to -4, or X is equal to 5. Because we have what? Extraneous solutions. All right, now we got to go back up to the top over here to check it. See, can I make this big enough? So if we do x plus 20 is equal to x, so we know that -4 is the extraneous solution. Because we know if we put, so this is 20, I'm sorry. So we know put -4 in here. We know that's extraneous solution because wouldn't this be the square root of 16 is +4. +4 does not equals -4. So this is your extraneous solution. So this is your solution. Okay. We're good? Oh, really now? Yeah, it does make sense, doesn't it? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and give you a minute to write that down. Then we'll go to the next one. So I'm going to go ahead and cross out 8. See, do I need to do 7? Oh, I'm going to do 7 for you as well. I'll do 7. And the important thing about number 7, you want to put everything on one side and you want the radical isolated. So yes, we definitely need to do 7. Oh no, I need the light back on. I got my assistant in the background, better known as my wife. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and erase this. And the people that watched that first video, you didn't supposed to see this. It's supposed to be private. I need a better cloth. Let me go see. You know what? It's my shirt. I have to have enough better eraser tomorrow. So let's look at 7. Okay. So for this one, we have to isolate it. So we need to, so we're gonna have subtract 1. Then we have the third root. We have the third root of 2x plus 1. So 3 is the index, 2 plus 1 is the radicand. Okay, now we need to get rid of this 3. So we're going to raise everything to the third. Okay, but remember, you got to move this over first because you want the radical isolated. Okay, so that'll give us 2x plus 1 is equal to, we all know that 3 times 3 times 3 is 27, right? So we have 27. So 2-step for this, we'll subtract 1 and divide by 2. All right, there we go. And I think we understand this one, right? All right. Imani, will you quit playing so silly? All right, now, so this is the answer for 7. All right, so the next we're gonna do is 12. I'm gonna go ahead and erase this. All righty. I have to get something erased better next time. But I just want to get this done. Okay. All right. So what's the next one? 12. Okay, so next we're gonna do is 12. All right. So it said which one, if I was you, I would just work out 12. That's the best way to know what's true and what's not. Okay. So looking at 12, we have what 3n, the radicand 3n plus 4 on the outside equals 3. All right. So now we need to get rid of 4. So that's -1. So we have 3n plus 4. Of course, we're going to square both sides. So then that'll give us 1 and 3n plus 4. Then we have the 2 steps. Subtract. So that'll be a what? Negative 3, 3n, n equals negative 1. All right. So we have to plug in from the beginning to make sure it works. So if I square it, I square that. So we come over here, 3n plus 4. The square root of that plus 4 is equal to 3. So we put a negative 1 in here. So that'll be negative 1. So it's negative 3. So that's a negative 3 plus 4 equals 3. All right. So we know that this is just 1, right? So in this particular case, you have no solution because this is the only value we can solve to get the equals to n, and we plug it in if it doesn't work. So you may not have a solution for this. Okay. Let's see what's in. Yeah, you always have to move it over, Jamar. Always move it over and isolate it. Okay. You probably got the, like I say in class, you probably got that problem right by the grace of God, but it ain't gonna work every time. All right, cool. All right, so I'm going to move on to problem 16. All right. I want you to learn, but I want to take up all of your time. All right, so this board got dirty quick. Okay. So the next one is 12. Oh, I just did 12. Okay. So the next one is 16. Okay. So let's look at 16. All right. So I will raise this to the third. All right, so now you have this 4x. So set this equal to 0. So we're going to factor what they have in common. So that's x squared minus 4. But we know that this is a difference of squares, right? So now we have x equals 0. X, so we have, well, before I do that, I'm sorry. So we got x plus 2, x minus 2. So now we have x equals 0, x equals negative 2, or x is equal to 2. So now we just have to check each one of these individually. Okay. So we have the third root of 4 times x equals x. Now, so if I plug in 0, wouldn't both sides be 0? So that checks. Now, if I plug in negative 2 in here, and the cool thing about cubed, you'll have a solution if the answer is negative or positive. Okay. So you're going to take the third root of 4 times negative 2 equals to what? Negative 2. So the third root of -8 is -2. Because if you think about it, you have a -2 times -2 times -2. So isn't that -8? So basically, all three of these solutions that you found will work. Let me see comments. Yes, Anthony, you go to the restroom. All right. Didn't I need to adjust this? Yeah. Hey, what's up? In the classroom, it's okay if you talk. What is it? Hold on. Okay. All right, so we're gonna take a quick 5-minute break. Okay. You can thank Mrs. Burrell. Okay, and we'll come back about 5 minutes. And we'll reconvene. Almost 16. I guess Anthony can say thank you. Hey, Mama Bear. What's him is smacking? It'll be all right. All righty, I'm back. Oh, 15. All right, so we'll look at 15, Jamar. Okay, so let's look at 15. And this this is one of the examples in the packet. Okay, so what you want to do, remember we have to isolate the square root. Okay, so we're gonna move this over. We're gonna switch these two. So that'll give us the square root of x minus 1. This moves over. And then this would just be x minus 3. And then now, thank you, Jamar, for asking that question. So we're going to square both sides. And so we should know from what our previous math that this is just simply going to be x squared minus 6x plus 9. And then this will be x minus 1. You want to keep your highest power positive. We'll keep it on one side. So we're going to move this and move this. So this will be what? 0. X squared. We move this over. Negative 7x. Move this over. Plus 10. So we're going to factor. Then we got to check for extraneous solutions. So we've done enough factoring. We should know how to do this. So this is x minus 5, x minus 2. So with solution, we have x is equal to 5 or x is equal to negative 2. Now, if we go back to original equation, if we plug in, let's try negative 2, see will that work. So we'll put a negative 2 here, put negative 2 here. We already know that's not going to work because this is a negative under the square root. So this is going to be an extraneous solution. Now, if we put 5 in here, so if we plug in 5 in here, this will give us the square root of 4, which is going to be 2. And 5 minus 2 is give you 3. So this is your solution right here. Okay. All right. So I'll show you why you're confused. So you say you're confused? Okay. Remember, if I have x minus the square root of x minus 1, well, it's not big. It's too small. So where can I put this? I'm going to put it over here. So if you have x minus the square root of x minus 1 equal to 3. Now, I'm going to do this the long way. So I'm going to put x. Then I'm going to add to this side. So that's going to give me 3 plus this x, square root of x minus 1. Now, remember, I have to isolate this. So don't you do x minus 3 equals the square root of x minus 1. Look over here. So last thing I want you to be is to be confused. Oh, it should be plus. My bad. It should be plus. This should be plus. So if we put plus 2 in here, that'll be 1. And then that would be 2 minus 1. That still will not equal 3. So it should be, so yes, it should be plus 2. But it still is not, it's not going to work. So yes, that should have been 2. And that's my fault. I guess I need to slow my roll, huh? Yeah. So do you see now why this is this? Do number 9. And if you don't stop with number 9, you can do that one. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and erase 15. So 15 makes sense. All right, cool. I'll go back to 9. Okay, for number 9, we're going to square both sides to get rid of the radical. So then that'll give us 2n plus 8 is equal to n squared. Again, your n squared has the highest power, so we need to move these two over. The set is equal to 0. All right, so we need to factor this. So that'll be what? N minus 4. N plus 2. So n is equal to 4, or n is equal to -2. So now we need to go back into the original equation, which is what? 2n plus 8 is equal to n. Okay, so we know this shouldn't work because this is a -2. And we look, so since this is a square root, we know that this answer is going to be positive and this won't work. But we could try it though. So we could do, if I plug in -2 in here, so that'll get what? -4 plus 8. Then that'll be the square root of 4 equals a -2. And we all know that that is no solution. Okay. So we know this is the extraneous solution. And we could try 4. So just think about it. If I put 4 in here, that's going to be 8. 8 plus 8 is 16. And square root of 16 is 4. So the only solution would be is this is the only one you have for a solution. And I'm going to read that statement on the screen in just a second. Okay. 23. You know what? Y'all are working me today. You know, we're going to start the next section tomorrow after I'm done with these. But I got you. Jamar, that number 23 is actually a good problem. That's for the advanced students. So I guess you want to be advanced. I'm not mad at you. Okay, but don't get off the screen since I said we need to finish all these problems. All right. So we got this. So we get number 9. Number 9 makes sense. What? Are you serious? No, man. Look. Abu, you can't do this, man. You can't. Abu, you see why this is no solution? I'm waiting on you. I need you to say yes or no. For over here. Okay, good. Don't scare me like that, man. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and erase this one. So we have what? We got 20, 20, 22, and 23 left. And we'll call it a day because I had to get ready for my AP Stat class in a little bit. But we'll start on the next section tomorrow. 18. Who said 18? Miss Johnson? Okay. What? Well, you can replay the video. You'll be fine. And thank y'all for coming on. Appreciate it. I got to get something better with erase this. Woo! Need my other arm. All right, so we'll do 18 next. So for 18, we got the set is equal to square both sides. All right. And so we have x is equal to 7. Remember that this is a greater than symbol. Okay, so what we're going to do, we know that x has to be greater than or equal to a -2. Because if we let x be less than a -2, we're going to have a negative number up under the square root, which we can't have. Those are imaginary solutions, right? Okay, so what you want to do is do your number line. And from the previous chapter, I'll show you just a second. So we have what? Make sure it fit on it. So that's 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, -1, -2, and we'll do -3. All right. So what we want to do, since this right here is going to be open, we're going to open this at 7. But remember, the smallest value that you can have up on this radical is -2 in order for it to be 0. Because in other words, if I use -2 plus 2, that's going to give me the square root of 0. Now, any negative number that I pick less than this, let's say if I use -3, that's going to give me a -1, which we know is imaginary, right? So I'm going to come here at -2, and I'm going to put we'll close it up. And so now I'm going to pick a point somewhere in here. I got to pick a point here, and I pick a point here. Now, I'm going to be, I won't say lazy. I'm just going to use the simplest one. So I'm going to put 0 in there. So 0 plus 2. So the square root of 0 plus 2 is 3. So we know that the square root of 2 is not greater than 3. So there's no solution in this area. Now we need to pick something on the right side. The left side, there's nothing there. So now we're going to pick 7. I mean 8, because 8, we'll try the right side. So now let's do 8. So we have 8 plus 2 is greater than 3. 8 plus 2 is 10. We know the square root of 10 is greater than 3. So we're simply going to come here. And so if we write this is graph. We write it in set notation. It's just going to be x. It's going to be greater than 7. And you don't have to worry about that. You just use that for the boundaries up under the radical. So since we picked 0, that means there's no solution there. But we can't go past -2. Oh yeah, I will be here every day, every Monday through Friday. Weekend belong to me, Ms. Williams. But I will send you that packet when I'm done with my AP Stat class. What did you mean? How do I get a plus or -2, Grace? So look, if you look it up under this radical, what you want to do, if you have a negative solution up under here, it's going to be imaginary. So we can only use -2 because -2 plus 2 is 0. So it's 0 and above. So if I put -3 in here, that's going to be -1, wouldn't it? So that'll be an imaginary number. So the smallest x value that could go up under this radical is -2 and above. Okay. So just like we did in our previous sections, we did inequality, we got to check. Once we found a point, we got to check to the left and to the right. And so that's what I did here to get the solution. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start on number 18, if we don't have any more questions. You're welcome there, Grace. All right, so we're going to move on to the next one. Which one is X? All right, since we have a less than or equal sign, it's going to be open. We'll have an open circle for when we're doing the solutions. Or a closed circle, I'm sorry. Closed circle. Okay, now we have to square both sides. So now we have 2x minus 1. We'll put the equal sign here. So this would be squared. Highest power, want to keep it positive. So that's 0x squared minus 2x plus 1. All right. So we know from our factoring that this is a -1. This is a perfect square. All right. So only thing we can check is x is equal to 1. But then we got to look here and say what's going to make this 0 over here. So if we set, well, actually, can I put 1/2 in here? So that means x has to be greater than or equal to 1/2. Because, excuse me, half of 2 is 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. Okay, so we can't have any numbers less than 1/2 for this to be a solution. Solution up under the radical. Okay. All right. So what we have to do now is do that old number line. So we can use 1, well, 2. We could just do 2. 1, 0, -1, -2. Because we only got small numbers here. Okay, so we're going to put a closed circle around 1.5. So if I do that, yeah, so that's 1.5. So we'll go here. Say this is about 1.5. Put a closed circle here. Then we got 1, and we'll put a closed circle here. So we got to pick a point on the left side, pick a point on the right side, and pick a point here to see which way we're going to shade. Okay, so make sure I did that, right? Okay. All right, so let's do this. Okay, so let's try 0. So we're going to come to original equation. 2 times 0 minus 1 is less than or equal to, what's that, 0? Okay, so we have what? The square root of 1, 0. We know that's not true. So we're not shading on this side over here. So now we got to try something in between here. So would 3/4 be in between here? So we're going to try 3/4. So 2 times 3/4, okay, minus 1 is less than or equal to 0. All right, so if we do this, we have, what's that's going to be 3.5. So if I do that, that's going to be what? So that's 2. So that'll be what? 1.5 minus 1 is less than or equal to 0. So that's going to be 0.5. Square root of 0.5 is less than or equal to 0. So would that work? Let's see, what did I do? So that's 1/2, that's 3/4. So 3/4. All right, so let's try 1. So we have this 2 times 1 minus 1 is less than or equals to 0. So what did I do? Let me see 20 again. X is greater than. So I know we have a solution for this problem. Hold on for a second. Okay. Oh, yeah, I know. Let me check this. Okay. He's behind me. The camera downloads. What's oh, okay, cool. My wife just fixed it. Okay, so if I did, so look, make sure I did this problem right. Because I found the answer for this. Okay, so we got 2 minus, so we got 1/2. So we plug 1.5 in here. So if I plug in 1/2, that'll be 0. So that'll work. So if I do 3/4, because 3/4 in between here. So that would be what? 1.5, because it'd be 6/4, 1.5 minus, so that's 0.5. Then if I plug in 1, oh, I'm retarded. I'm sorry. So this should be 3/4. And this should be 3/4. And then this should be 3/4. All right, so then, so this will work. This will work here. Then this should be 1. And then this is just going to be the square root of 1, 1. So that works. Oh, so now we got to try 2. So we got 2 times 2 minus 1 is less than 2. So that's going to be what? 3. So I put 1 here, then I put 4 here. Oh, so so that'll be 3, and that's the square root of 2. So that's be 4. So that's be 4. That's 1. So the answer should be this. Should be all of this. So that means x is going to be greater than or equal to 1.5 or 0.5. So that's the answer. All right, so that's it right here. All right, so what we got next? So that's 20. So we have 22 and 23. We're almost done. We only have 2 more problems. Boy, you all worked me today. Okay, I ain't think I'll be here this long, but it's all good. It's all good. Okay, so we got 22 and 23. So that'll be on the back page. All right. So again, I think I have this set where you can replay it. I think I do. I'll make sure. If not, we'll definitely replay tomorrow. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and erase this. Jesus. So 22. All right, so 22. So D is the skip marks. Skip marks. Okay, so what we want to do here, so they told us that my S was 42. So we're going to put 42 here, square root of 21D. So now we got to square root both sides. All right, so 42 times 42. So that will be 84. Okay, and then that'll be 8, 16, 176. So that should give us 1764. So 1764 equals to 21D. Divide that by 21. All right, so if you divide that by 21, we should get, what's 21? Hold on, let me put in a calculator so we can get on out of here. It's so funny. So D should give us 84. All right. So that's what we have based on that. But the question also asks you, the actual is 15, 115 feet. So what you want to do here is to make sure that you're accurate. So this is 84. So what you want to do here, if you want the skip marks, so you want to do 21 times 115, because 115 are your skip marks. So when you do that, you're gonna get approximately 49 miles per hour. So this here is inaccurate. What's this? Hey man, I'm tutoring right now. I'll call you back. Bye-bye. I'm sorry. That was one of my former students. Okay, so no, Giselle, we're not taking a quiz. Not tomorrow. We're good. Okay, so we're gonna do 23. We're gonna wrap this up, okay? My bad. I got my assistant keep correcting stuff for me, so she has the best interest for. You want to come up and introduce yourself? All right. So that's number 23. So I mean 22. I'm sorry. So 22. So we'll look at 23 in just a second. So that's 22. Jamar, that makes sense to you? I guess Jamar's gone. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and do 23, and then we'll wrap this up. All right. I got to find something better about that when I do my stat class. This is a lot of racing. Woo! I'm hurt. Yeah. All right, 23. So we get out of here. All right, so what we want to do for this one, they want us to solve this. We're going to isolate this. So that's x plus 8 is equal to square root of x plus 2. Have to square both sides. So that's just going to be x plus 8. It's going to equal to so that's going to be x squared plus 2. So it should be 4, the square root of x plus 4. Let me make sure. So we have the square root of x plus 2. Okay, square root of x plus 2. So that'll give us x squared. That's going to give us 2 to the square root of x, 2 to the square root of x, and 4. So yeah, that's right. Now, so what we have to do now, okay, so we're going to do move this over. So this will be plus 8. If we move this over, this will be 4. This will be x squared plus 4 square root of x. Okay. So I'm going to find x. How did I do this? Okay, we got that. We have that. How did I do this problem? All right, just hold on to that, and I'll finish this up tomorrow. Okay, but I'm gonna time out right now. And when we come back tomorrow, first thing, I'll go ahead and take care of that one. All right. I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a good day.